Anyway, they've got the juice, and the juice is flowing. But they, of course, immediately run into problems with record label stuff because you can't just be a band and have like a good business relationship with anyone. It's slightly too complex to explain, but basically they had a distribution deal with MCA, which fell through due to maybe someone like bad mouthing them and saying that they were not like a family friendly music choice, which was
I think they called
a
them
very
anti-parent.
80s thing. Anti-parent.
Anti-parent is so like
the like 80s conservative thing of like of the the family above all, and just Black Flag being just so destructive to that structure. Like, okay.
That reminds me of the Simpsons thing where it's like, a vote for Bart is a vote for anarchy, and then Bart puts the same poster up with the same words like as advertised. It's like I can't imagine a better advertisement for this band in the 80s than it's like some fucking suit called us anti-parent is like, yeah,
that's a good blurb.
It's also very funny imagining listening to the entirety of Damaged, which was the only thing, like the main thing that they had put out there, and taking away like, doesn't sound like these boys like doing their chores.
They're so naughty. Naughty.
When when you're listening to anything more than Rise Above and TV Party, you're just hearing a guy growling, "I'm dirt. I'm less than nothing. The pain inside me will cause me to hurt you."
a very willful boy.
He needs to be disciplined. So that legal dispute, there was like a bunch of back and forth, but Greg literally went to LA County Jail for 5 days because of that, which is kind of insane to think of. I mean, there's a lot of insane ways to go to jail these days, but releasing a record puts you in jail.
Yeah.
And he didn't speak much about the experience, but pretty much the only thing he said was that it's not something that I would recommend.
We've covered a lot of record label disputes in this show, but this is the first guy that we talked about who actually went to jail over a record label dispute.
Yep.
I was going to say, to his credit, and I don't mean this as a point against Greg. I have plenty of negative things to say about Greg Ginn, but like, deserved to go. Just by letter of the law, flagrantly broke the law, knowing that it would send him to jail. Like, he knew what he was doing.
Right. Oh my God. And then so like that was then the crucial, like, I think it was a couple of years where they technically weren't allowed to release music, which obviously is not great for your career. They were touring in the meantime. The description of their 1983 European tour was absolutely horrific to read. They said in Vienna, Henry Rollins tried to protect a stage diver from some overzealous bouncers and got punched in the jaw by the stage diver for his trouble. Another just great metaphor of the kind of energy that was prevalent at these things. Insanely, at the same show, when the police came, the crowd beat them up, took their uniforms, and allegedly killed their police dog.
Jesus Christ.
Like, what?
The European punk audiences of this era seem absolutely monstrous.
Chaotic. Incredibly chaotic.
Which is funny because you imagine, like, the Americans are usually seen as like the brutes, or like, the uncultured or unmannered or like rednecks or whatever. But then you hear any like European punk show at the time was like, yeah, about 20 guys in the audience tried to stab me with shards of glass. That was a good show.
Here's the hypothesis. Were European audiences maybe more violent because they knew that they had healthcare that could take care of them if they got injured at a show?
I can crucify a child because I can go to the hospital.
The flip side of this was that they were talking about an Italian tour date where there were Italian punks all like glowering around the club entrance, and they were trying to enter, and they were like worried that they were going to get their ass kicked. And finally they got out of the car, and the Italian punks wanted to hug them, kiss them, and give them presents.
Such a passionate people.
Oh, I love the Black Flag.
Oh, Mr. Rollins, come on.
I'm a favorite band.
They wanted to put a long string of spaghetti between their mouths and eat it.
Talk about something that I would like really wish there was like video of, or would just like to be on a fly on the wall of, is like an Italian Black Flag show in like 1982 or 3.
My God. Seriously.
very indescribable vibes.
Italians, I will say, are a theme in all of these books we read, as like people just go, they're like, yeah, we played a soccer stadium, and then there was a riot after, but no one seemed that concerned. Like that's pretty much par for the course for large Italian crowds. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do about?
There's a kissing riot.
Yeah. Everyone's getting into scuffles, trying to kiss each other on both cheeks and just bumping into each other.